Hello, Pewter people. Scott Reynolds here with another Pewter Pulse. The Pewter Reporters came up with some New Year's resolutions for the Bucs that you can read on pewterreport.com. But there's one overarching resolution that must take place in 2025, and I'll get to that today in the Pewter Pulse. But first, a reminder to hit the thumbs up button, give us a like, also leave a comment. Doing those things helps us with the YouTube algorithm, gets us in front of more awesome Bucks fans like you, and it helps continue to grow our Pewter Report TV YouTube channel. So thank you very much. Now let's talk about 2025, even though the Bucks 2024 season isn't over yet, because we're ringing in the new year. Bucks head coach Todd Bowles told his team to have Super Bowl aspirations this season on the eve of the team's 2024 training camp. After losing to the Lions in the NFC divisional round of the playoffs last year, it was certainly the right message. The Super Bowl window is open for the Bucks beginning this year. With a victory over a 5-win New Orleans Saints team that has lost its last 3 games on Sunday, the Bucks will have the NFC South division title for a 4th year in a row and will host a wild card playoff game against a team with a much better record, to be determined by what happens in week 18. An unexpected loss to New Orleans would certainly put Todd Bowles' job in jeopardy and abruptly end the Bucs season, unless the Panthers upset the Falcons on Sunday, and then a 9-8 Tampa Bay team could back itself into the postseason. But let's think positive for a moment. Well, not too positive. If the Bucs do get into the playoffs, anything could happen, right? The only thing that can stop Liam Cohen's offense from scoring 30 points in any game is self-inflicted wounds. And I'm talking about turnovers like Baker Mayfield interceptions or untimely penalties that kill drives in the red zone. But what has kept Tampa Bay from becoming a legit Super Bowl contender this year, or becoming a 14-win team like Detroit or Minnesota, or even an 11-win team like Philadelphia, is the play of Todd Bowles' porous defense. Yes, the defense has played better down the stretch since the bye week and hasn't given up 30 points per game like it did earlier on several occasions this year. But the defensive struggles have been pronounced. This team struggles to take the ball away. It only has 7 interceptions on the year. And as a result, Tampa Bay has the worst turnover differential among NFC playoff teams at -4. Green Bay is the best at +12, followed by Minnesota and Philly at +10, Detroit at +9, the Rams at +7, and even Washington is at +2. So what has to happen this offseason for the Bucs to become a legit Super Bowl contender in 2025, or maybe even a Super Bowl favorite? It starts with keeping offensive coordinator Liam Cohen and his brilliant mind somehow, some way. I could do a whole Pewter Pulse episode on that alone. Tampa Bay already has a Super Bowl ready offense that averages around 30 points per game. Now it needs to rebuild the Bucs defense to the point where it's at least good, or good enough to not hold the team back. While the Bucs rank 8th in sacks this year with 44 heading into the season finale, there's no real true pass rushing threat off the edge. Think back to the Bucs Super Bowl season when they had Jason Pierre-Paul on one side and Shaq Barrett on the other. Tampa Bay is so desperate for help at outside linebacker that it signed the 32-year-old Shaq Barrett out of retirement. Yaya Diaby, last year's leading sacker, has just 3.5 sacks this year after 7.5 as a rookie. Second-round pick Chris Braswell has just a sack and a half. And Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, well, he continues to be a disappointment off the edge. The Bucs also need better coaches on the defensive side of the ball. If Todd Bowles does return in 2025, he must shake up his staff, especially at outside linebacker and in the secondary. George Edwards, Kevin Ross, Nick Rapone, they need to be replaced with younger, better position coaches to help some of the young stars level up next year. Now that the Bucs have weathered a few years of salary cap woes and the tight purse strings, it's time to open up the checkbook and sign some impact free agents. Tampa Bay has $25 million in salary cap space heading into 2025, but can just about double that by restructuring a few of the contracts of several high priced veterans on the team. Jason Light's Achilles heel has been drafting edge rushers. He's missed on guys like Noah Spence and JTS in the past, and the jury is still out on Diaby and Braswell, although I'm hopeful that better coaching unlocks the potential of those two. But 2025 needs to be the year to find the next Jason Pierre-Paul, who was acquired via a trade back in 2018. Perhaps it's exploring a trade for Las Vegas's Max Crosby or Cincinnati's Trey Hendrickson. Or maybe it's finding the next Shaq Barrett in free agency. Possibly a big name like Hassan Reddick, Khalil Mack, or Josh Sweat. Or maybe it's a lesser name guy like Barrett was when he came to Tampa Bay from Denver in 2019. Maybe it's a guy like Las Vegas's Malcolm Kuntz, who's coming off of an injury and might be more of a bargain-esque type player. But the Bucs need a proven edge rusher in 2025. There's no doubt about it. The Bucs also need help at inside linebacker and another starting caliber cornerback to replace the unreliable and oft-injured Jamel Dean. Now, I'm not saying Dean's going to get cut or traded, but it feels like Dean is wearing out his welcome the way that Carlton Davis did last year, something to keep an eye on during the 2025 season. This draft is relatively weak at linebacker, but there is some talent at cornerback and safety that the Bucs could tap into in April. We'll delve into the draft and free agency more when the Bucs playoff run concludes, hopefully in a few weeks rather than a few days. And Pewter Report will be on the ground in Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl, as we always are, and Indianapolis for the NFL Scouting Combine. You know, nobody covers the Bucs offseason like Pewter Report does. The Glazers, Jason Light, and whoever is coaching this team next year, whether it's Todd Bowles or Liam Cohen or both, they all need to have an all-in mindset in 2025. Yes, the Bucs need to continue to draft well, but 2025 should be the year to open up the checkbook in free agency, to bring back Chris Godwin, and sign impact players on defense. And perhaps even exploring an aggressive trade to capitalize on this open Super Bowl window while Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and others are still in their prime and under contract. Happy New Year, Bucs fans. You've made it such a happy new year for us here at Pewter Report TV. We love it. You guys have subscribed en masse. We're almost at 17,000 subscribers. So please check out Pewter Report TV. Hit the subscribe button and join us on our quest to hit 17,000 in 2025. We've got more Pewter Pulse episodes coming your way, more Pewter Report podcasts, as well as Pewter Pregame and Pewter Game Day shows. That's all on Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel. And you can follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report, and visit pewterreport.com for all of our Bucs game coverage and off-season coverage. And I'll be back in 2025 with another Pewter Pulse.